Hello and welcome to Ring Takes episode 93. I'm Daniel with Brian and Lewis. We're here, episode 93, after another week of wrestling. This is episode 93. WWE Chamber matches are set. We finally got our 6 that are going to be in the Chamber matches in Toronto. We will talk about that right now. Let's get into it. Seth Rollins and Roxanne Perez punched their tickets to Toronto. What do you guys make of Seth Rollins' epic match with Finn Balor there on Monday Night Raw? Great Monday Night Raw. Again, Raw just continues to hit on Netflix. But what do you guys make of Seth Rollins and Finn Balor's matchup there?
Well, they had a very entertaining match. I mean, the chemistry between them is just top notch. I mean, we saw that back in 2016 when they had the SummerSlam match for the title, which I think one-on-one wise, it's the only time Finn beat Seth Rollins. The one thing about this match, and it's like something that I have noticed, it's about the booking of Finn Balor. So, I saw a stat online that I think his last 8 either TV matches or tag team matches in general, I think he's 1-7 in his last 8 matches. Just think about that stat for a second. 1-7.
He's street trash.
1-7 in your last 8 matches. I mean, did he piss Triple H off? I mean, did he say something to Bruce Pritchard, or did he frustrate somebody? Because when you look at the talent of this caliber, like Finn Balor, since NXT days until now, it's been 100%. It's been 100% turnaround. He always gives great matches. His character work improves year after year, and it's unfortunate that he's been on the receiving end of these losses recently. I mean, you can say it's because the roster is so top heavy right now that apparently you're going to have some of those talents that end up as casualties, and he kind of falls into that. You could say it's more about the story that's being told right now with the Judgment Day kind of disintegrating in front of us. Well, whatever the case may be, the fact is, I'm gonna say this stat again, to be 1-7 in your last 8 matches. When you're a talent of that caliber, it definitely is very, very frustrating, and we can only hope that moving forward that Finn Balor can definitely get some wins under his belt. I mean, we don't know what his plan necessarily is going to be for WrestleMania, but going into a Seth Rollins, like I said, the match was great, and Seth entering the chamber now. I mean, it's definitely a very star-studded chamber match. But all in all, the match was great. It's just unfortunate now that Finn Balor has kind of been a casualty of sorts, whether it's in the booking department lately.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all kind of knew Seth was going to go into the chamber, especially with Punk being in it. You got Cena in it. You got all these top superstars. It's like you got to have Seth in it. Not saying that Finn isn't a top superstar, but I think, like Brian said, I think it's more for me. I think it's more so this Judgment Day storyline, and it's like I'm hoping that there's some type of payoff or something that comes out of it after Mania, because it looks like it's either going to be like an implode leading to WrestleMania, or I kind of hope that is the case, because I'm kind of done with the Judgment Day. Like, I don't really see like what's going to happen at this point. It's like, does it even make sense for
Finn Balor's going to turn it around, Lewis?
How? You don't even want new members.
Exactly.
What is there to turn around?
Oh my God.
I mean, like, you would think like you'd want to, strengthen numbers, and it's like, or something like that, or like recruit, make yourself like a domineering force like you guys were initially. And it's like, what is the point? Like, everyone's lost their titles. You got rid of Rhea and Damian that were like the big domineering forces, and it's like, what do we have left?
It's kind of tough to be the leader of a group if you're under 6 feet.
Sorry, it's true. Tough. And it's like, and like Brian said, like, Finn is a top talent. Like, I've wanted Finn to like, elevate to that. Like, he could
get
be
another run. Even more than he deserves it more than anybody. We talked about AJ, we talked about Randy and stuff like that. Finn Balor has never been able to get back to that level that he was at in 2016.
And you know what? I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe this is like pandering to things, but I honestly feel like a Demon Finn would reignite that. Like if you brought back the Demon, I feel like that would easily make him a top baby face, and like that would like catapult him back into the main event. But I mean,
he only pulls that out at certain PLEs.
He doesn't even pull it out now. You know,
I mean,
it's kind of. I think it's because he's a heel that it's like it's not going to work with his character at all right now. You know, it's like unless he becomes babyface, I feel like that's the only time he can use it. But
it can work in a sense if he was a demon, like, and just turns up the I don't want to say it, but Undertaker
intensity or whatever.
Yeah, Undertaker Ministry of Darkness, and just be devious and do all the demon shit or dark shit or cheating shit.
But at this point, it's like who is he even feuding with? They're just
Judgment Day. He's feuding in-house. He's feuding in-house. That's
but it hasn't even gotten to that point yet. He's on this whole like everybody needs to listen to me. You know, they're all like snarky and you know taking shots at each other. But it's like, okay, what is this leading to? Like, it's not like you know when you can clearly see where like you know kind of like a Otis turning on Chad or a Jay turning on. You know, the Roman, like, you know, you see like the person like, oh, they're treating me like crap. I'm going to flip on them. It's like, you don't even see that in the Judgment. You see it a little bit with Dom, but it's like, hey, he's just like shooting me down, blah, 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 blah. But it's like, you don't see any type of like, all right, this is going to blow up at some point. It's just like, we're all kind of just pissed off at each other, you know? So it's like, where is this going?
I think it's a slow burn. And I think it's been a slow burn for a long time. A long time. It's been a slow burn. So getting back into the swing of things of them actually breaking up, I feel like at this point it should be Dom, Liv, and Raquel leaving to form whatever they need to form and that be a trio and figure out what they're going to do and kind of push Dom in that sense and have Finn be on his own and go his own route. I think that would be best. Yeah. How they do it, I think they're trying to figure it out and show little signs of friction in the group and stuff like that. Because I feel like we've been talking about this for a long time, even when Damian Priest was still there. How long is this group going to last? And then now he leaves, and then it's like, how long is this group going to last? And it's just continuing.
And the crazy thing is I saw reports that, like, you know, saying, like, you know, Finn's a locker room leader. Like, maybe, like, a few months back, like, you know, he's going to get a real push. And it's like, is he? I feel like a lot of people are being – you know, either coming back or, you know, getting pushed for the, you know, everything leading up to Mania. It's like, where does that leave any room for Finn at this point? You know, so that's what I'm saying. I hope after Mania we kind of get like a focused story on him that will like elevate him to that status, you know, because he deserves to be in the main event. Like we all said, he deserves to have at least, you know, if he could have a run from Mania to SummerSlam, I feel like he deserves that at least.
Yeah.
Man, the perils of a top-heavy roster.
Is it top-heavy?
It kind of is, man. It is top-heavy.
On Raw. Okay, let's just look at it. On Raw.
I'm looking at the totality of both brands, like not just on Raw and SmackDown.
You got Jay.
Definitely Raw.
You got Jay. You got Gunther. You got CM Punk. But those guys are in the chamber.
Yeah.
I'm just saying
you got the Braun Breakers, you got Ludwig right now, you got Sheamus,
you got Penta.
Finn is above those guys. Finn should be above those guys.
But he's not right now.
That's the thing. I'm like, there should be a window of opportunity. I know he was in the title match.
He's not even going for a mid-card title right now, you know? It's like those guys are still being highlighted a lot, and they're just going after – they're just in the mid-card, you know?
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough because it's like I understand what you guys are saying, but it's just like he was just in a title match with Damian and Gunther. Was that Saturday night's main event? So
yes, it was.
So it's like looking at it from that standpoint, he's in the mix, but it's just like he doesn't have the story.
It's like you used to
Right
say,
now.
he's losing. He's a loser.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're 1-7,
Your
when you're
Drew McIntyre rhetoric.
Yeah, your trademark.
is this just WWE's way of just hating on European stars from the UK? I guess I don't know. You're just gonna lose. I don't know. It's unfortunate,
Well,
but
you can't say that because Gunther's winning.
I mean, he's from Austria,
It's Europe.
That'll be proved true if he loses.
WrestleMania. Oh man, is gonna put the stab into the UK. But yeah, Seth Rollins moving on there and getting the big win. Especially, we all thought that he was going to be in the chamber. He has so much history with all those guys in the chamber. So adding him only adds the fuel to the fire, and especially if Roman Reigns is lurking in some capacity. We'll see what happens there. What do we think about the newcomer Roxanne Perez picking up the win as well over Raquel Rodriguez?
Yes.
Yes. I mean, looking back on it now, I assume that they were just using it to just spotlight Roxanne on Raw, and that Raquel was eventually going to come out on top. But now looking back on that, it makes sense why they would go with Roxanne in that case. Because if that's the case, why use Roxanne? I mean, you could have used any other female talent on the roster if Raquel was going to end up going over in the end. So I definitely think it was a nice little swerve. I mean, obviously I think Bianca and Naomi, they interfered. I wanted to ask you guys this question about Roxanne Perez. Moving forward, should she definitely go back to being the babyface?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Because I'm of the mindset. I think she should. Like I said before. I mean, her in-ring work is great, but she was more believable to me as a babyface than her entire heel run. I always felt
is Bayley on Raw now?
Yeah. Yes, she is. Assuming they're going to continue that feud from NXT. I mean, it makes sense that they would. I mean, for Roxanne's first major feud on the main roster. I mean,
if they're going to, they got to figure out a way to do that. I feel like they're going to be a tag team. For some reason, I just feel like they're going to put them in a tag team.
I hope not. I really hope not, because I feel like she deserves a single star push.
I mean, we're looking at Live Victoria in that role. Dakota Kai's kind of in that role. Io's in that role.
But I mean, look at how Tiffany kind of came into that and just stayed at the top. You know,
we're gonna get into Tiffany Stratton because I have some things to say. I have some things to say.
Oh, here we go. Mr. Negativity.
It's not negative. It's just being honest. It's just being honest, Lewis. It's just being honest.
I don't know. I'm liking Roxanne, and I think what Brian said, I saw her as the happy, kind of Bailey-ish, I'm the underdog type thing. But I think her switch to heel, I think she kind of needed it to just kind of see that she could be a heel.
Especially in NXT.
I'm not gonna lie. In the beginning, it was a little wonky. I was like, I don't really believe it. But now going forward, I think some of the stuff with Bailey and other people, she's like, oh, you're trying to tell me how to do this and this and that, but I've done more than you at this point. I feel like it's a little more believable. So and I feel like it's been working, especially because she went in, into the Rumble still kind of as a heel and did everything she did. I feel like she's kind of in that in-betweener-ish. I feel like she could play that role, not just full-blown heel, but kind of screw you guys, whatever, I'm going to do my thing type thing, So I think that character will work for her. Eventually, she probably will become a babyface, and she'll probably be a top babyface. But like you just named off, I feel like there are a lot of babyfaces right now.
Yeah, that's why I'm I kind of understand why they would try to keep her in that heel role, despite
you literally just named 3, well, now 4 babyfaces right then and there.
Yeah.
Okay, I only asked because like I said, I still feel that her heel run wasn't as believable to me as it could have been. Like Lewis said, it did start off very, very wonky. I think that's probably the reason why that it doesn't like appeal to me, because it started off so bad. Even though she kind of did improve because of that, I got a bad first impression of it. Like
2.0 days.
Yeah, it wasn't even a 2.0. 2.0, she was the smiley, bubbly baby. It just was believable too, because based on her story, and if you go on her Instagram page, I think her first post is the Total Divas clip of her meeting. It was either Bailey or Nikki Bella. So she's been a Bailey fan for the longest time. It's almost like to what's her name? The Bailey super fan, Izzy. That was the fan that was in It's almost like the story that they're doing with Bailey and Roxanne is the story that they should do if Izzy ever signs with WWE, because
that would be crazy.
Exactly.
There is a way for her to be a heel, and I think it has to be a tag team with Bailey, and she plays that AJ Lee card, where she's kind of playing people and stuff like that, and then eventually she just stabs Bailey in the back. That's the thing for me. You need somebody for her that everyone loves, that everyone cares about. Bailey, stab her in the back.
Why don't you go with your great Natalia, Daniel? Why are you giving just she's great. She's so great, and
she's cold right now, Lewis. She's cold right now.
Right now, she's been cold for years.
She has
no. She heated up a little bit when she came out the Rumble. She was because at least she was in it. So that was the start of something.
No, I don't know what Lewis.
I mean, they didn't have to put her in the Rumble. I mean, like I said, there was 30 spots. I mean, there were 30 spots. They didn't have to put her in there. So that was the start of something.
Hey. The sky's the limit, Lewis wouldn't tell you. The sky is
really. The sky's the limit as a trainer.
My question, was Cora Jade in the Rumble?
No.
Was she? No.
Cora Jade could have got that spot. Was Lola Vice in the Rumble? She wasn't. She could have gotten that spot. So realistically, out of 30 women, they still put Natalia in there because she still has some sort of value. So,
prestige, Lewis. Prestige. Okay? Prestige.
When she gets her own damn intro music, then talk to me.
It's passed down, Lewis.
Mooching off your
It's
family.
passed down. It's lineage.
Be an individual.
So negative. Oh, but we got Seth Rollins. We got Roxanne Perez filling out the Elimination Chamber spots there. So can't wait to see what happens in Toronto. Obviously, they're probably going to have some stare down next week in some capacity on Raw. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yep.
Let's keep going on to Jey Uso and Gunther's latest standoff. What do you guys think about that mix up between those two? They've been getting physical over the past couple weeks. Pat McAfee kind of sticking his foot in his mouth a little bit there. But what you guys make of that segment?
I thought this was a great segment just because it shows how heelish Gunther is, and just like, I feel like he played into the whole world well. It's like, this is why you guys love him. You're simple people, and he's a simple person. You guys are a bunch of idiots. Gunther has just great heel work, and I saw even he's just trolling Jey Uso. But I thought that whole thing with Pat and Michael Cole, what do you think? You think you really think he could be I thought that was just great work. So
and I've heard people say that they don't like this version of Gunther with him kind of talking like he's a snob to everybody who's lower than him in wrestling, and I'm just like, this is perfect.
This is exactly what he's been forever. And especially now that he's just now that he's champion, it's what else would you want him to do? Literally, what he's like, I'm champion. Everybody else is beneath me. What are you talking about?
It works. I don't see the mix up.
Yeah, and it's not even playing into the whole typical back in the day heel foreigner. It's just he's that great in the ring, top of the fucking.
It has proven it. It has proven it.
Yep.
So Gunther did an interview for the Daily Mail. He was talking about wrestling with Jay, and he was in character when he gave the interview. And they asked him about wrestling Jay at WrestleMania, and I actually have the quote here. This is what he said. He said, "Oh, sorry about that. Ad popped up. Hate when that happens. See here. Yeah, technical difficulties here, y'all. Hold up. All right. He said, I'm not interested in wrestling Jay at WrestleMania. I was looking for somebody who was one of the last few remaining guys on the roster that I would say are maybe one step ahead of me. It would be nice to be in there with one of them to bring them down 1 inch and make a step up." That's Gunther in character. So his character, because I was thinking his character work with this was gonna have to be ideal, because Jay is the ultimate underdog going into this match. So him being the obviously being the foreigner and being the dominant heel, he really has to kind of like sell the people on Jay. And by being a character like this, it kind of makes you feel like, well, damn, does Jay have a chance? Does he have?
You want to know what this can be like?
Yeah, because
you want to know what this can be like? The burial of Booker T at WrestleMania 19 by Triple H. It doesn't have the racial undertones of it as it did back in the day, but this is what it's shaping up to be, in my opinion. It has
but we can only hope that if Jay gets hit with a finish, that he's not knocked out for 30 seconds before he gets hit. We can only hope that doesn't happen. Yeah. But
Gunther just hits him with that front drop kick.
Jay's knocked out, and then Gunther's knocked out, puts a hand over the cover, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, but I liked how Gunther kind of like imitated Jay's entrance coming out through the crowd, trying to get a feel for it. Actually, it would have been. This is just a nitpick. It just would have been even funnier if they actually played Jay's music, because I would have wanted to see Gunther would have tried to be on rhythm, and then or as soon as the crowd starts singing along, he says, "Now cut that crap. We don't want to hear that shit," or something like that. But like I said, Gunther's character work is gonna be something to pay attention to moving forward, because like I said, Jay being the ultimate underdog in this match, in a way he kind of has to discredit Jay, that he doesn't have a chance, but also he kind of has to like build him up in a sense to say that he may be a credible threat. So Love Gunther's work, Gunther's heel character work so far, and obviously Jay is Jay at this point. He's gonna remain hot week after week and up until the match. So it's gonna be very interesting.
No, I really like this segment. Again, Gunther just doing great work. I like the interactions that he had with Michael Cole and Pat McAfee, and him basically like, hey, you guys have been pushing Jay his whole run basically, and you guys think he can beat me? Like, seriously, me that you've been watching week to week. So to see Gunther play that role and Jay just be the underdog, the story writes itself. Yeah. I don't think anybody had Jay in this position besides Lewis, who had him as a dark horse for his Rumble picks. But other than that, I don't know if anybody had Jay in this position right now, especially heading up to WrestleMania 41. I don't think anyone had that. So this story basically just writes itself. Can't wait to see what they continue to do. I don't think they have anything going on at the Chamber. We'll see. I think Gunther still needs to be showcased every now and then, especially on these PLEs. So we'll see if that continues, because he's I think he missed a couple not defending the belt, but we'll see what happens with that. Let's keep moving on here. We talked about Finn Balor's struggles early on, losing in his spot in the Chamber match. Let's get some thoughts on the Judgment Day catching L's. We kind of talked about it a little bit there. AJ Styles making his return to the ring, defeating Dominic Mysterio early in the night. So good to see AJ back. Had a little brush up with Braun Breaker there, teasing that angle between those two. You had Raquel Rodriguez losing her Elimination Chamber qualifying match against Roxanne Perez. So that's another loss. JD McDonough is going to be out for a foreseeable future with that injury, that crazy injury that he had. And then you have Finn Balor losing his qualifying match. What do you guys make of this? We talked about it a little bit there with the Judgment Day. Where do you guys think they're going to go? Like
AJ looking phenomenal.
All right, I just want to say, as an aside, for JD McDonough, there's a good chance that when he does eventually come back, that he's going to be a babyface. The fact that he got fucked up the way that he did and still finished the match, there's a level of respect that comes with that. So he may or may not be a babyface when he comes back. But as far as the booking of the Judgment Day and them catching L's, I see only one way to save them, and that has to do with a superstar who's currently a free agent right now that needs to be re-signed, and that's Malachi Black.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only. If you re-sign him and somehow take the Judgment Day back to what it initially was. Now, granted, the current cast of characters, you can make the case that the Judgment Day right now is more comedy than they are serious, obviously, because of Dom's heel work. Carlito, who on the low is reaching our truth level of being a national treasure. Obviously, you have to live in the Raquel being a part of it, and then obviously Finn's involvement. Now Finn is the one that's been hell bent on saying no more new members. So that's where you're going to get the power struggle without Black coming in. Now, that's just the Judgment Day in general. I do agree that, like you said, Daniel, that Dom, Liv, and Raquel kind of need to separate themselves. I think I mentioned that initially when Dom and Liv first came together at SummerSlam. That at some point in time, they should both break away from the Judgment Day. So, so like I said, it's definitely going to be very interesting, but. At the end of the day, I mean, this was a group that at one point in time that was feuding with Cody and friends through the tail end of the fall last year, and then their two top members got kicked out, and they literally went from legitimate threat to comedy to comedy stable in a matter of months.
It's just been a downward spiral.
Exactly. One of their members gets injured and might be a babyface when he comes back. So it's like at this point, unless you're gonna re-sign Aleister Black and somehow make them serious again, I say just break them up and just move on.
This will be like the 10th iteration of the Judgment Day.
For me, the Judgment Day needs to die.
It's time.
It has to die.
And I understand they're trying to create
I wouldn't even see. I get what Brian's saying. Like I could see him, Aleister Black, kind of coming in and being like their edge and like kind of refocus the group, but I don't think he would want to come back into that. He had his group stint in AEW that was cool, but they just never did anything with them. If he probably had those same people coming in, I'd probably need more like, yes, I think WWE would handle them much better than AEW did, but that wouldn't be the case. So I would want him to be a single star. For me, it's just Carlito is literally the R-Truth right now. Dom is just, doing his asshole douchey boyfriend status right now.
That man is a Hall of Famer.
I do not doubt it. But he plays that role very well. If there was a way to get him more serious, honestly, I don't know why. I've been saying this in my head for a while, but if Dom bulked up just a little bit, I feel he could be taken way more serious. Like, yeah,
he wears that weird shirt thing, so I think it doesn't.
That he's tall, but he's very scrawny as well. It's like if he bulked up just a smidge, I feel like he'd be a more serious contender because, like, look at everybody that he plays his role well. He does what he needs to do. I saw that like everybody coming back has basically faced Dom. You had Punk, you had AJ, you had Randy. Like he's doing great work in terms of like in ring, but like to capitalize on him, like I'm not saying he needs to be like Austin Theory fit, but like he was just a little more
You been get on the Randy program.
You know, like, he could legit be a contender. You know, like the man, bro, he does his job well. He plays his character well. I feel like he could be a easily heelish, you know, top contender if he was just looked the part just a little bit more. But besides,
I get what you're saying. I see it. See, because I've been looking at Dom for a while, and it's just like I feel like he's being like he wrestle the most matches in like 2023 or something like that, and
he has great in-ring work. He has great
main events in multiple shows towards the end of the year and stuff like that. So it's like he has the ring work. It's there. It's just him finding his character outside of this Judgment Day, because he's kind of been tied to this ever since he's came in to WWE full time, right? So to see him potentially get out of that and find his own gimmick, his own rhythm, I think that's going to come. He's still young. He's like, still young, very young.
Even if he kind of pulled like not like the, I mean, I guess similar to the Miz, like he could, you know, heelish wins and do dirty, you know, legit play into the dirty role a lot, which he has done, but like. Like you said, there's just a little bit more missing. Like if he was like more focused on just like getting wins, getting titles,
like sneaking
like a top heel. You know, he is a top heel, but like a serious contender is what I think is what I'm saying. But as far as the group goes, it's like Liv and Raquel have been doing their own thing. JD, like Brian said, will probably come back. You know, could do great in the mid card. Could be another underdog that, you know, elevates because his wrestling style is great and he does great work. Carlito, honestly, you could easily just pair him with R-Truth and they'd be great. But but it's like Finn, it's like, come on, like I don't know who is pulling the trigger on blowing up this group. Like I don't know what the catalyst is gonna be to, you know, everybody's already kind of arguing, but it's like, who's really gonna like throw the grenade and like
Dom is gonna step up.
Shocking to be like, oh shit.
Dom is gonna step up and challenge Finn Balor. That's what's gonna happen.
I hope so. I honestly hope so, because that would elevate him, and then shit, maybe that's how you turn Finn babyface. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. We need something. I need a grenade on this group, and it has to create something, a phoenix out of it, please.
Yeah, something has to happen. Something has to happen. Maybe Liv and Raquel speak up Dom to like challenge Finn, and they help him win, or I don't know. Something has to happen with this group. But we've noticed that Brian said Finn is 1-7 in his last 8 matches. And it's just like,
that's the stat.
That's not a leader of a group. That's not a leader of a group. So I don't know what they're going to do going forward, but yeah, just something to point out. Other Raw notes: Dakota Kai defeated Ivy Nile to become the #1 contender for Lyra Valkyria's Intercontinental Championship match.
Well,
what do you guys think about?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't let you finish. But about that, about the women's Intercontinental title. The fact that I guess this is going to be Lyra's first title defense coming up against Dakota Kai. The fact that it's taken this long for her to have a first title defense is kind of it's kind of disappointing in a sense, because
isn't Dakota who lost at the end of the tournament towards her?
Yeah, she lost at the end. She lost in the finals, and then she faced Ivy Nile and then became number one contender. But the fact that he's yet to have even a first title defense is a little bit disappointing. I mean, last week, you know, they expect us to take these women's mid-card titles seriously, but yet in the qualifying matches, both champions lost. So how are we supposed to take the mid-card, these new mid-card titles seriously?
Hey, they're not. That's why they're the mid-card, Brian. They're not good enough to challenge for the main title.
Yeah.
But see, when you define it like that, then you ask the question: what the fuck is the point of the mid card?
Hey.
We've seen that plenty of times where like people who have, you know, we're like, oh, they're the IC champ or USI, and you know they're trying to qualify for something involving the main title. We always know that, like, all right, they're not gonna be put in that position because they're gonna focus on their title at some point, or unless they're like the person's stupid hot and they're like, yo, we're actually gonna make them a double champion, which is very rare. You know, we haven't seen that in a long time, but it's like we always know if anything involving the top card, and if you have a mid card title, you're not really gonna get wins to get put into that position, you know. So I think it was more so just like, hey, give him a shot, you know, let him be like, yeah, you know, I'll become a double champ, I'll become this, and it's just like, no, you're both gonna lose, but respectively, you still got your own titles to defend, you know.
Well, I mean, at least hopefully they wrestle soon. I don't know if they're going to be on the PLE, so we'll see what happens with that. But
it should, honestly.
It should. I mean, Dakota Kai and Lyra put on a good show to, you know, for the finals of that thing. So run it back. Run it back. It's been a month and a half.
I honestly would have liked Ivy now to get the number.
A shot.
Yeah, exactly. And they actually had a little story going because Ivy Nile eliminated Lyra from the Rumble, so it would have made sense to go in that direction. Because I'm not gonna lie, until I actually see Dakota Kai in the ring at least more than a month or so. Like every time I see her now, I'm just watching her right now. I'm just thinking like, yeah, one slip up, and then she's out for another 8 weeks.
What happened to the positivity on this show?
I mean,
the captain.
I want to be positive with her, but then she first it was the knee. Then she was out for like 2 or 3 months. Then she came back, had a match or two. Then got concussed. Then she was out again. So it's like damn. It's like sooner or later, like consistency, reliability, the best what's the best availability? I mean, what's the best ability? Availability.
Hey, she's getting the shot for a reason, Brian, because she's available. That's why, Brian. Have some faith.
And the thing is, she's very good, both as a character and as in ring. So it's like it's frustrating that
she finally got her own theme music, which is good.
And then she got brand new theme music, which is, I guess, okay.
Damage Control is dead finally. I would think so.
I don't even think they're really a group right now because 2 of their members are down. I mean, Kairi Sane is down. Oscar, we don't know when she's coming back. I thought she was coming back at the Rumble, so she's still out.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you know, I'm a big fan of Oscar, and she's not back yet. She always posts something, so I'm like, is she coming back? Is it something going on?
She's dealing with her own.
She's dealing with these damn fucking fans harassing her and shit.
Obsessive fans.
These obsessive fans making romantic advances towards her and shit. Like, yeah, it's ridiculous.
Is that the latest thing?
Yeah.
In the reports, yeah. Apparently, she sent a tweet out telling people to cut that shit out.
Yeah, like she doesn't even want people to come up to her and ask for autographs and stuff anymore.
So now if I see Oscar on the street, now I just have to walk away. I can't ask for an autograph.
From what I saw, it's more so the people that be flirting with her and stuff, and trying to making sexual advances and stuff. You know, the fans will tweet at somebody or tweet a photo of someone and then talk about the way their body looks and stuff, or then say they want to marry this person. It's that stuff. Yeah. I'm pretty sure you can still walk up to her and get an autograph if you're just a regular fan, not trying to do anything like that.
Yeah. Well, let's hope, because Oscar's cool. But other stuff on Raw, we had Penta defeating Pete Dunne, another win for Penta, stacking up the books, stacking up the wins so far on his arrival on. I feel like he's wrestled every week on Raw, so they were definitely featuring him and giving him a push there. Who came out at the end of the match?
Ludwig. Yeah, it was
Ludwig Kaiser and stuff getting involved there. Yeah, he got involved in there at the end, basically costing Pete Dunne the match. Looks like they're putting the Euro guys together in a potential matchup. So
I hope it's not another tag team, please.
I don't think it's a tag team, but I just feel like those guys have just been all fighting each other. You had Sheamus fighting Pete Dunne. Ludwig Kaiser's in the middle of that. You know what I mean? So they kind of just been going at each other.
I would I would I get that they're hinting at this whole AJ Braun Breaker thing, but it's why not? I feel like this would be a perfect time. You got all these guys, showcase them. Why not just do a tournament for the IC title? You have a plethora. You got Sheamus, Pete Dunne, Penta, Ludwig, whoever else you want to throw in.
Just do a fatal 4-way. Just do a fatal 4-way. Just have these guys mauling each other. And then have an 8-man ladder match at WrestleMania, like they did with Daniel Bryan.
That's probably what's going to happen with the U.S. title.
Mm.
Well, it needs to happen with the U.S. title.
It needs to happen with both titles. I wouldn't mind both ladder matches.
Who's Nakamura really feuding with right now? What LA Knight again?
LA Knight, Carmelo Hayes as well.
Yeah, and you got and SmackDown has enough.
You got Andrade, you got Miz there now. Like you got
Miz too. Yeah, you got Andrade. Yeah, that screams like bro. That's a 6-person ladder match right there. Yeah, all those guys you just named.
Let's just 2 nights of WrestleMania. Put one on one night. Put one on the other. Writes itself. Right.
Although Braun Breaker versus AJ Styles it does have the potential to be a show stealer.
Yes. But let's move on to the SmackDown side of things. Is Jacob Fatu failing to acknowledge Solo Sikoa? Is that what's happening?
Of course.
We got some words from Jacob Fatu, who's awesome on the mic, other than saying "I love you, Solo." So, what do you guys make of that whole situation happening on SmackDown with Cody Rhodes, Solo, Jacob, and the new bloodline? Mm-hmm.
So I caught the backstage segment where Jacob and Thomas, like they stepped to Solo. They're like, "Where you been? We've been trying to talk to you. Like, what's going on?" And he's like, "How would you feel? Losing everything, blah, 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 but I'm back. I'm focused." And then even he says, "I love you, Jacob." What happened at the end? I think because didn't he attack Cody Rhodes again?
So if I remember correctly, during the main event, I think Solo came out to help Jacob. It was that triple threat, right? So Solo came out to help Jacob, and then Cody came out and attacked him, and then I think Solo went to go give Cody the Samoan spike, and then Tama Tonga was also out there too to help. And in the process of giving him the spike, Cody moved out of the way, and I think he spiked
Tama Tonga.
Right? And then Jacob looked at him like, "Yo, like what are you doing?" And then I think Cody pushed Jacob into Solo, and then the match finished in the ring with Priest getting the win. So, and I did see a report that Solo versus Jacob might be a plan for WrestleMania. So, if that's the case, yeah.
Why?
You said why?
Why?
But this gets Jacob. This kind of gets Jacob away from all that, and then finally sets him up on his own, though. And you hear the reactions. People are respecting the talent that Jacob fought too.
Well, of course they are.
They know when they see somebody that's giving.
He's
that's
real.
Their all,
he's authentic. He's off the cusp. Like he just speaks his mind and just like.
You can look at Jacob and then say, he's real. You could tell.
Jacob Fatu has not held the Ulafala. He does not have the right to challenge Solo Sikoa at WrestleMania. He just doesn't.
Did Solo win the Ulafala?
He had it.
He picked it up.
Wow.
He took it.
I didn't know he won it. He never won it. But what are you saying, Daniel? Where's the logic in this?
Possession is 9/10 of the law.
I'm pretty sure Jacob held it a few times for Solo. So what are we talking about?
And he gave it to Solo. He didn't put it on. Why didn't he have?
He could have.
He wasn't worthy. He wasn't worthy.
He was
not worthy.
So because Solo picked it up after Roman dropped it, that makes Solo worthy.
Whoa.
Tell me how Solo got the Ulafala.
He didn't get it. He just took it.
Oh, he took it.
He took it. That makes him worthy, Brian. I didn't know that.
I'm just saying.
Wow.
He just took it.
Whoa. Did Roman Reigns fight Jacob Fatu for the Ulafala on the debut show of Netflix?
That's not the point. You just said Solo was worthy when all he did was take it.
He took it, and then Roman wrestled him for it.
But he never won it.
He never initially worthy. He just proclaimed himself the new tribal chief.
Yeah.
Remember?
That's like finding somebody's car keys and be like, "This car's mine."
Whoa.
That's a perfect analogy.
Sorry, is your name on the title? I don't think so.
That's called stealing.
That's a perfect analogy.
Okay, what are we talking about?
Okay, you just defined it.
This is wrestling. Possession is 9/10 of the law. I'm just saying. This is wrestling. It's not stealing. Why didn't Roman just get it back? He challenged him for a match for it. I'm just saying.
Oh, so you're saying Roman should be like, hey, can I have that back, please? Let
He
me
could've.
not press charges on you because you technically stole it.
He could have. He could have went the law right. He could have went the legal route.
You should have subpoenaed him.
Paul Heyman.
You're saying he
Paul
should have been
Heyman could have been
served.
his lawyer.
He should have been served a summons. That's what you're saying. You start doing.
Paul Heyman could have been his lawyer. Could have worked out. But no, let's see what happens with that with the bloodline there. Damian Priest there getting into the Elimination Chamber, defeating Braun Strowman and Jacob Fatu. So Jacob Fatu picking up his first loss, right? So
yeah,
it happened. So that's moving on. Let's get into Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens unsanctioned match being determined at Elimination Chamber. What do you guys make of this? Of Sami pushing the edge of not being cleared, and the seriousness of this basically taking us all the way back to NXT days with Kevin Owens there. What do you guys make of this unsanctioned match between these two?
You know, with certain guys that have had like numerous matches between them, you know, some instances you look at this and say, again, but with these two, I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all because the story is legit. Because the story is legit. It writes itself. It's written itself since the days of NXT, even before then, when they were in Ring of Honor together as different characters. I mean, the story always writes itself. And I always said that, you know, when Vince McMahon was booking KO and Sami Zayn, he didn't really know what he was doing. He booked them as generic as hell, and Triple H is kind of really dipped into the whole like history between them. That's why initially when they were going back to this feud, I said this is great because now the feud is going to be done similarly to how it was done in NXT, which is the right way to go, and it's going to be unsanctioned. Which storyline wise, things have been personal enough between these two, not even in this feud, but over the history, where it would make sense for them to come to this point. It's in Canada, so that plays a huge role. I initially believed that the match was going to be just like how KO and Randy Orton was. I think at the Saudi event where literally they just came out brawled and that was it. But now the fact that the match has been titled unsanctioned, that means they really are probably going to beat the living shit out of each other for their home country. Like I said, the story between them with KO being the heel and Sami being the baby face, like I said, it writes itself very well, and it's always been that way. I mean, the strength, the positivity behind this feud, the positive moments behind this feud when it was at NXT has always been Sami being the underdog and KO being the monster heel, and even in Ring of Honor and all their other.
That man is not a heel. He is a son of a computer. What was on the shirt? A son of a computer technician. Security system.
Another reason why KO shirt game is top notch.
Yeah,
but that match, KO and Sami, that might be a show. That's definitely going to be a show stealer because we already know the chemistry is there, and realistically, they're going to pull out a whole bunch of their old spots from back in the day, and we're going to be on a nice little thrill ride with this match.
No, Sami can't take those bumps anymore, Brian.
Yeah, but I do think though that I'm gonna throw my prediction out there right now. I think Sami's going to come out on top, but he's not going to beat him straight up. He's going to have help.
What? Help from who?
Karrion Kross.
Randy Orton.
Yes.
I don't think
you guys forget he's been out for all that time.
I don't see that. I think this should, if anything, set up Sami versus KO at WrestleMania again.
No, we can't do this again.
Would you want to have the unsanctioned match at WrestleMania then?
Before we go, you guys tell me what unsanctioned means. Does unsanctioned literally just mean no?
It means to the death, Lewis.
No, it does
not. Actually, he's actually right. In a technical sense, I pretty much means y'all can kill each other, and we're not
disqualification. So I don't get why they were trying to make it so dramatic. This is unsanctioned. You will not be liability. Blah blah blah.
I kind of agree with Brian right now that it's probably Randy Orton or somebody's going to come and help him or some capacity of that, because it's like, if this, what you just said, Lewis, the unsanctioned match, wouldn't you want it at WrestleMania? Maybe this is their WrestleMania moment, just happening a month earlier. They're in Toronto, they can showcase them.
Yep. Unless like the fact that they're in Toronto, like really means enough that they wanted to do it there instead of having that WrestleMania, because it will be special if it's more special in Canada.
Yeah. It won't get lost. It won't get lost.
But honestly, I thought what this was leading to, and kind of maybe more I wanted, I thought this was going to be a last man standing match. Which I think sounds way better than unsanctioned. I'm like, you're just saying a fancy way of no DQ. Like, come on, what are we really talking about?
It's no DQ, and if you guys kill each other, we're not liable. That's how you have to think about it.
No.
In a regular no DQ match, if somebody gets seriously hurt, somebody gets killed, it's our fault as a company for sanctioning the match. Now with this shit, y'all fuck each other up. Yeah, hey.
That has never been the case in WWE. No one has ever said, you guys kill yourselves. We're not liable. No, that's just a no disqualification match. Come on now. We've had backstage brawls and all these Hell in a Cells. Come on. The Hell in a Cell, you could literally die. Like, come on now. Don't give me this whole, we're not liable. Yes, you are.
but Lewis, to counter your point, I'll say this much, because it's KO versus Sami. This is one of those instances where I think you can get away with that, though.
Me hearing all that, I was like, y'all just trying to spin it to these people like this is unsanctioned and we're not liable. It's like, me being a long time wrestling fan, I'm like, this is just no DQ. That's why for me, I'm like, a last man standing match, I feel like has a stronger impact, because it's always been described you have to beat your opponent senseless until the point that they can't get up to the count of 10, so that's what I thought. And who knows, maybe that'll be the WrestleMania match. But
okay, here are the list of unsanctioned matches in WWE, because I was looking and I'm wondering. So Shawn Michaels versus Triple H, 2002 SummerSlam. That's when Triple H hit the sledgehammer in Shawn Michaels' back and basically took him out. Chris Jericho versus Shawn Michaels at Unforgiven. That's when Chris Jericho punched HBK's wife in the face.
another feud that was personal enough. I think that feud had been going on for like 7 or 8 months. I remember. I remember that feud with Jericho when Jericho turned heel. Yeah.
Randy Orton versus Shane McMahon on 2009. I believe that's when Randy was going on. He was skinhead Randy, and he was kicking all the McMahon.
Punting the entire world.
When he was shooting with Triple H and taking everybody out. Yeah.
Yeah. That was Seth Rollins versus Triple H at WrestleMania 33, which was just overkill. Joey Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa at WWE NXT Takeover. That was viable.
Okay, that's during the pandemic.
Drake Maverick versus Mike Canellis, 205 Live. Really?
I didn't know they had one.
That was a match on 205 Live. That was an unsanctioned match between Mike. Wow. See, that goes to show you, Vince McMahon really hated Mike Kanellis, bro. Because when he came up with Maria, from obviously with his history in Ring of Honor and all that stuff, he should have been treated so much better and booked so much
terrible.
So much better. Stuff he made him do was terrible.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't even hold it against Mike Kanellis if he just shitted on WWE for the rest of his career for what they did to him. I wouldn't be surprised if he was just negative on them no matter what, because it's a criminal what they did to him booking wise when him and Maria signed.
Absolutely terrible. Because I was like, oh, that guy had so much intrigue, and I've never seen much of his stuff, but I'm like, okay, this guy has his wife with him, like they can be a tandem. This is going to be great. Well, he was in terrible storylines. The baby thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's continue here. The Randy Orton versus the Big Show. That was during the pandemic, I'm assuming. Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly at Stand and Deliver 2021, and Grayson Waller versus Johnny Gargano 2023. Stand and Deliver. So there's been a couple there, but a couple heated feuds there. But Drake Maverick and Mike Canales take the cake. But let's continue to move on here with that. We're gonna get that at the Elimination Chamber, so can't wait to see that hard hitting match. You know, Kevin Owens and Sami are gonna go crazy, so we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
Let's continue to move on here. The Queen chooses Tiffany Stratton, making her choice for WrestleMania. What do you guys think about that? Tiffany Stratton defending her title against Nia Jax, having that rematch finally, ending in disqualification. With Charlotte Flair coming out at the end there and challenging Tiffany Stratton. Not really giving an explanation of why did she pick Tiffany Stratton, but what do you guys think about this matchup here?
Lewis, if you don't mind, since Daniel kind of alluded to having some thoughts about Tiffany Stratton, he kind of goes first on this one? I'm actually interested to hear.
Actually, no, let's let him go last because he has.
Okay, you guys go ahead. You guys go ahead.
So I think it's a great choice because I feel like, we already kind of had discussed like the whole Rhea Charlotte rivalry. We've had the one-on-one. I thought number 3 would have.
We should have gotten 3.
Yeah, I knew that's where your argument was going to go. You're not getting the third match.
But at the same time, we also have not seen Charlotte versus Tiffany Stratton. It's a new rivalry. It's a new, and you know what? I think it's also going to set up. It's going to set up to see how Tiffany can hold up on the mic against Charlotte. I'm not saying that Charlotte's the best promo because honestly, since her coming back, I haven't really liked her promos. But I feel Tiffany hasn't really showcased her promo work like that. She's had her little it's Tiffy time, blah blah blah. Her little backstage segments. But as a champion, I want to actually see her cut promos. Like I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Like I want to see how she actually holds up in the spotlight. And I think that's probably why they put Charlotte to go against her. Obviously, because it's like you have one of the greatest versus the new upcoming star. Is she gonna go toe to toe with her? Is she actually gonna win? Honestly, in my mind, I see Charlotte coming out on top as usual, but I think it'll make for a great kind of like bringing her up and just like getting her to that even bigger main event status, so that's how I see it.
Well, based upon the reports, I mean, as soon as the Rumble was announced, that they were already predicting once Tiffany Stratton won the title and Charlotte was coming back, that Tiffany and Charlotte was the natural direction to go in, just based upon the fact that you have these two blondes, and you have Tiffany Stratton who wasn't out. Based on her background, I think Tiffany Stratton, she has a gymnastics background. I think she played, and I think Charlotte played like volleyball or something. So their backgrounds have been fairly similar. So initially, that was the first matchup a lot of people went to. Now Charlotte right now, as we talked about last week, I mean, apparently, even though like I said, even though me and Lewis picked Charlotte to win, we were kind of along the lines of a lot of others who didn't want Charlotte to win, and these crowd reactions that she's been getting lately clearly show that. Now, Daniel, I understand. I'm going to anticipate here that your frustration with this booking decision is more about the fact that you wanted to see Rhea and Charlotte 3. Now, we do have the first 2-night SummerSlam coming up this coming summer. That's probably more than likely where that's going to happen because it's the first 2-night SummerSlam, and you kind of need matches that you know are going to be instant bangers. To do Rhea versus Charlotte then for the first 2-night SummerSlam probably would be the best bet. But as far as Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte goes, it's definitely going to be very intriguing. I'm very interested to see Tiffany's character work moving forward, because you're clearly going to see that Charlotte's going to be the biggest heel in this match. And I also feel as though that Tiffany should come out on top. No, I've said from jump that no matter what, Charlotte Flair cannot walk out of WrestleMania with a title. It just can't happen.
You want to know what?
What do you mean? She won the Rumble. She has to win the title.
Not necessarily. Well, what's the percentage? 70% of the Rumble winners or something like that.
Because of this match happened, Charlotte deserves to walk out with the championship. What is Tiffany Stratton's character?
That's why I was asking. That's why I was saying I was interested in her character work moving forward for that specific.
Even more than me wanting Rhea versus Charlotte.
She's a tweener.
3. What is Tiffy's character? Tiffy time, and she's cocky and she's young, and what is it? We, as Lewis said, we haven't really heard her. We haven't really heard her on the mic and then her promos. Everyone's kind of jumped her into this position, kind of similar to Liv Morgan, even though I think she's more talented than Liv Morgan. The fans kind of boosted Tiffany Stratton as, hey, this is the lady that we want to see. This is what we want. And all I'm thinking is that this is too much too soon. Obviously, the story writes itself. You got the veteran in Charlotte, the greatest of all time, versus someone who the WWE has kind of pegged as the next and up-and-comer. She's the new thing. She's what everybody wants. But is this too much too soon for her? That's my thing. Like, what is Tiffany Stratton's character to be on the stage at WrestleMania 41, let alone against Charlotte? Like, what is that?
Well, this is going to be her defining moment. This is literally what it is, because I think the reason why the WWE Universe that has backed her so much is because of her in-ring ability. Mm-hmm. Honestly, the prettiest moonsault is a great move that she uses. You know, the flips into the corner. Like, her moveset is really great, which really attracted a lot of people. It's not really her character work.
Is her moonsault better than the Io Sky's? Is it better than Naomi's? Is it better than Charlotte's?
Yes. Honestly, it is. It's funny. It's not the actual moonsault.
It's definitely better than Charlotte's. At least Charlotte's I'm still not over that shit, bro. The fact that every time she does a moonsault, she has to land on her feet. Like, what the fuck?
She misses. She misses all the time.
And she misses every time trying to land on her feet. I'm like,
that's literally
land on the people that are trying to catch you. You don't have to land on your feet every time.
Every person that does a moonsault literally lands on their feet. Look at every time EO does it. It's the same thing. Like, you kind of have to guess. Nobody lands flat. Moonsaults.
I don't know. I just got this vivid image of all the Charlotte's moonsaults, and either
literally overshot.
She's either overshooting or
it's the ones that go outside the ring. It's the ones in the ring that you can land on your stomach, but the ones outside, like, you're not gonna land on your damn stomach all the way to
the person is supposed to catch you.
If they're supposed to. Okay, so obviously. We're not trained professional wrestlers that are athletic like that. We only judge what we see. And when she does that moonsault, I don't know if it's because she overshooting her opponent that she's kind of makes it look like that she's purposely trying to like land straight up on her feet. I don't know, but like Daniel said, she does overshoot every single time she does it. So it makes it look like she's trying to like literally just do a moonsault and stand up straight at her.
Hey, let's see you guys do a moonsault and let's see where you land.
Yeah,
it'll make great content.
Snapping your fucking ankles as soon as you land.
Just pay an indie promoter. Hey, we just want to use your warehouse and just try to do moonsaults off the top.
Let me use your turnbuckle real quick.
Yeah.
Leg broken.
We borrowed that 16x16. Yeah, let me see.
Jesus. But this match is gonna. I think like Daniel said, this is gonna make or break Tiffany in terms of character work, because she really has to find herself. Obviously the way Charlotte's going right now, Charlotte's gonna be the heel, so it kind of puts her in a weird spot because she's kind of been this, heelish babyface kind of right now, especially after cashing in on Nia. So who's gonna have to figure out like her voice and how she's gonna come at her?
Yeah, I'm saying she can't be bubbly, cocky Tiffany. At least not in the current, not in the like how she was in NXT. I think she could still be a version of that cocky character in a babyface sense. But whatever we saw in NXT when she was the top heel, I don't think you can bring in a lot of the elements of that into this feud because character. I think we can agree character work wise, Charlotte is light years ahead of Tiffany Stratton. We're talking character work.
And I'm fine with if we get Charlotte versus Tiffany Stratton if we get Bianca versus Rhea. I'm completely fine with that. If we get that type of matchup.
I think that's actually going to happen now.
It should happen. It has to happen.
I'm just gonna say, hence, wink, wink. Why this women's tag team title match is coming up on Raw? This is how they do it. This women's tag team title match.
So is this your guys' prediction? Is that Bianca's winning the chamber?
I think that's what they're going. I think
who else are they going to
take the titles
anyway,
off?
Who we got in the chamber?
We got Liv, we got Alexa Bliss, we got Bayley, we got Naomi, and we got Roxanne Perez.
All right. Now you tell me which one of those matchups is WrestleMania quality.
Bianca. You don't want Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley again? Please, no. You don't want that? I thought
we came to an end of that on the debut episode of Raw. Remember when the Undertaker came out for no reason? Yeah, remember that? we got a conclusion with the Undertaker concluded that. Yeah.
Thanks, Taker. Yeah, I just don't know. It seems like Bianca's the winner to me, unless Jade Cargill comes out and attacks her or something like that. Other than that, we got to get Bianca in that situation.
Yeah, unless it's gonna make sense. They have to drop the titles.
Because didn't they say, like, not next week on Raw, but the following week after Elimination Chamber, that Rhea was defending the title against Io? They said it was in 2 weeks, right? Unless they decide that they got the Chamber winner and then somehow Rhea and Io ends funny to the point where it has to be a triple threat.
Ooh,
that's a way to go.
I would want Bianca Rhea 1-on-1 though.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. If it's Bianca, then yes, I agree. But if it's anybody but Bianca, I wouldn't be surprised if they went triple threat.
I mean, you think after that, it's then what's the point? What do you do with Rhea then if she's not in that spot? If she loses to Io, or you know what I mean? So
yeah, I don't think Rhea's losing her title anytime soon. I mean, unless it's Mania. Well, yeah, I don't even think she would lose at Mania because she just got that title too. You know, so I don't see her.
Hey, Bianca Belair is 4-0 at WrestleMania.
It's been a tag team this whole time. Like she doesn't really have momentum.
I was just thinking about that, and I was just about to ask that question. The fact that she's been in the tag team for like literally the entire year, and then for them to just sporadically go back to being the single star Bianca. Do you think that that's the right direction to go in, or do you think that, or let me rephrase the question, do you think that despite the fact that she's been in the tag team for the last like 10 months, that it doesn't really matter because we already know her track record of being a WrestleMania main eventer or being a Royal Rumble winner? Do you think that being in the tag team for the last 10 months kind of like makes you forget about that, and now that she's being a main eventer again, it's like, you've been in the tag team for the last 10 months, so now we're supposed to take you seriously as a main eventer again?
I mean, if there's ever a time to hotshot somebody into that main event spot again, it's right now. It's right now. I think you have to do that Bianca versus Rhea. Unless there's something that goes on, like Naomi turns heel, which I don't see what's happening. I don't see how that plays into the story with Bianca and Rhea going forward. I don't know how
Naomi's the one that took out Jade.
We gotta figure that out. That's the thing. Like they gotta iron that out.
So I saw that when they did the whole video thing that Naomi said, everybody's saying that it's me. And I told them it wasn't. I'm like, who was there a segment where they were accusing Naomi of?
I think it was Liv. I think Liv was accusing her of doing it.
Yeah, because remember, she got taken out during that whole War Games build. Yeah. So when they had that segment with both teams in the ring, Liv, Nia, Raquel, everybody saying, "Well, who's the person that replaced? Who's the person that was replaced?" Well, it's Naomi. And even on social media, that's the first thing everybody was speculating. Well, Naomi's taking her spot, so common sense would say she took out Jade. It's like,
a heel Naomi. What are we getting? No more blow.
It's happened before.
Negative flow. Negative flow.
I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. It's long overdue. I feel like everybody needs a heel turn at some point. But I don't know. But if we get Bianca versus Rhea and that's why we got Charlotte versus Tiffany Stratton, I'm fine with that. If not, if we don't get that, then I'm pissed. Because it's like
Roxanne's winning the chamber.
What?
Hey, like you just said, if there's any time to catapult somebody into that stratosphere.
Now, if you want to surprise people, similar to what they did with Jey Uso winning the Rumble, that's what then Roxanne would have to come out on top.
What is this new era versus the old guard? But Rhea's right now, though. Rhea's the present. Rhea's the present.
Roxanne is the prodigy.
That's why I wouldn't be surprised, because you could honestly do kind of what Charlotte did to Rhea, and just have Roxanne get to Mania, but then loses, and then I would honestly say Bianca Rhea for SummerSlam.
Oh man,
just because, like Brian said, she's been in the tag team this whole time. She hasn't, I don't know. She hasn't been in this chase for the title this whole year. She's been focused on the tag team division. So it's like now just to be like, oh yeah, she won the chamber. Boom, let's put her back in the main event. It's like,
you guys are killing me.
Sure, I guess.
Should be in the main event. It's Bianca Belair. She's 4-0 at WrestleMania. She's won the Royal Rumble. She should be in that match at WrestleMania.
Well, she should be in a better story then.
The story is I got to go on and challenge the person who is considered the now when I've been winning all the time. That's the story. These are two of the best women's wrestlers in the world, two of the best specimens of women in wrestling going at it. That is the story. There's
I just have a feeling there's going to be something's going to happen between Naomi and Bianca in the chamber that's going to lead to the split. I can kind of already see that happening.
Should happen. It should. I don't know what direction they're going. Yeah. And I think that's what they're playing on. Like we don't know what direction they're.
They already kind of hinted at it a little bit, like before the Rumble. They were like, "Oh, like I'm gonna win. No, I'm gonna win. No, you should win. You should win." It's like they're kind of complimenting, but they're also taking shots at each other. So
yeah. A heel Naomi or a heel Bianca?
Heel Bianca would be great.
I've been saying it forever. We need that. Her and Montez should just go heel. Her and Montez should just go heel. That's how they should do it.
Well,
we're taking over now.
Yeah, well, Tez is already there. I mean,
yeah, he needs to be solo, man. He needs it so badly.
This is what happens. This is what happens. This is what happens when you have boys in wrestling, bro. I'm convinced he doesn't want to do it because he knows if he does, the Angelo Dawkins is lost in the lost.
Yeah, that's basic. That's
probably the reason why he doesn't want to do it, because he knows, like, damn, I can't leave my boy because my boy's not gonna be booked well afterwards. They ain't gonna do shit with him.
Damn, that's tough. Damn.
Yeah, I know. Loyalty. This is what loyalty in wrestling gets you.
Hey, Angelo Dawkins. Angelo Dawkins, we're going to need you to take the dive on this one.
I'm going to need you to take the dive. He's too talented.
Like, if we can get a heel Montez Ford and Bianca just being a powerhouse couple and kicking everyone's ass, I want that.
It can literally be the Black Miz and Maurice, but better.
Pretty much. And I've been saying it before. He's former armed services or whatever it is in the army and stuff like that. Have him go after the United States title. It's been there. The story has been there.
Itself, yeah.
I don't know. WWE, come on, do it. Do it. But yeah, that would do it for this week of Ring Takes. We'll be catching up. We're running down to, I guess next week we're going to be doing chamber picks because we're in the last week of February there. So we're going to be taking a look at that, seeing what developments play out on Raw, SmackDown, NXT. We didn't talk about NXT tonight because they just had a pay-per-view, PLE, as I should say, but we'll get into that at some point. Getting into NXT at some point, I think, because NXT has a lot going on. Moose's debut down there. Ricky Saints, formerly Ricky Starks, has premiered down there.
After last night's show, because I actually did watch NXT last night. I can honestly say that we are definitely back to the original black and gold era with NXT now. Like you said, like Daniel mentioned, Moose, Ricky Saints. The Hardys, the TNA champions, are going to be on NXT this week
in.
against the No Quarter Catch crew. So yeah, so NXT is definitely back to its glory days. Yeah. Now I can't miss NXT. I have to actually watch it now.
Jordan Grace is down there as well with Julia, Stephanie Baker. So
so
definitely have an influx of talent.
NXT is back to where Monday Night Raw is for me right now, where it's like it's mandatory. Like I can't miss Monday. I can't miss it.
Yeah, I gotta check it out.
Yeah,
I gotta check it out or record it so I can watch it. Hey, WWE, put NXT on Netflix.
Eventually, it's coming. Whenever the deal with Peacock is up, as far as the streaming stuff, whenever that stuff is up, go right over to Netflix.
Everybody just come to Netflix. But that would do it for this week's episode. Thank you guys for joining me as always. And remember, people, always kick out on 2.